Hi guys, welcome to this video, and today it's all about the fucking big deal that is the difference between markup and margin, right? And I've banged on about this a lot on my Instagram page and in other videos, but this video is going to really clear it all up as to why you always want to work to margins and not markup on any job that you touch in a construction industry. It doesn't matter what your trade is, whatever, you need to be working to margins. Can't stress that enough. Now, the biggest difference is that markup is a percentage based on the cost of something that you're doing, but margin is an actual percentage of what you're charging your clients. So it's an accurate measure of performance, of profit. It's what you really need to know, and it's stuff that took me a long time to find out myself, because people don't make this easy to understand. You speak to accountants and it's all like gibbly goop, and then other people, when you come from construction and trades, you're not naturally the most gifted at understanding this type of stuff. So I've made it as easy as I can for you guys to get your head around it. So we'll jump onto the computer, have a little look at this presentation that I did for a training group previously, and get your head around the whole difference between markup and margin. Now look, markup versus margin, the debate. And this chart makes it simple to see the difference. So let's be crystal clear. Markup is a percentage based on what something costs you. If you buy something that costs £100, you add 100% markup, that would be then you're charging someone £200. That's quite simple. Now flip that to margin, which is a percentage based on what you actually sell it for. So in the same scenario, from that £200 you're charging, your profit is £100, but the margin is 50% because £100 of the £200 that you're charging, the difference in the cost between what you're charging is 50%. So whilst you mark something up 100%, your margin is actually 50%. So the lesson here is that it's a big difference, and the bigger the numbers get, the more difference it makes. So you've got to be aware of the difference between the two. So I hope that table makes it a bit easier for you. Now let's look at that in the real world. Let's say you've got a job that costs you £1,000 to deliver. You've got £500 of labour, £500 of materials, easy. If you put 10% markup on, the cost to the client would be 1,100. But if you added margin, a true 10% margin, that would be £111 of profit on top. Now, the difference you're going to say is, right, it's only 11 quid. What's that really matter? Which I get, but as the percentages go up, it gets bigger and bigger. The same example, it becomes £50 on 20%, £128 on 30%, and £266 on 40%, which for most of you, I imagine, listening to this, that's more than your day rate. So just on a small job, you can earn more in profit than you would on your day rate, just from applying the right margins, depending what margin you are going to charge and what niche you're in and what area of expertise you're in. But it just makes a huge difference, and get your head around that, and the massive effect this can have on, because look, the compound effect, it compounds massively. If it's a 10 grand job, and let's just look at these figures on an average 30% markup or margin across the board for 10 grand. 30% markup would be 13,000, but 30% margin added on would be 14,285, which is 1,285 quid difference. Some of you are doing 10 grand a month, that sort of figure of revenue. So look at the difference this can make to you in your life. Now, if you're bigger than that, I've got a couple of clients now turning over, in the 1.5 million bracket of turnover. If you're doing £1 million cost of a job, on a 30%, it'd be 1.3 to the customer, or this could be your whole year's worth of work, loads of jobs added up. But if it was 30% margin, that'd be 1.4 million, and the difference is 128 grand. Now, I don't know about you, but if you're doing that sort of revenue, I think you'd rather have an extra 128 grand profit in your pocket because you've got your numbers organized based on this example. And if it's less margin, it's less, but more profit is more profit. And I'm just trying to get it across to you that it's a huge difference. You've got to work in margin. All right, cool. So I hope that has made it easier for you to understand, and now you really know why you need to be working in margin, because the difference over the year 10 years of you being in business and working out your numbers properly on that front can make a huge difference. You know, it's an extra holiday a year, it's money put away, it's buying another house, it's investments. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot. You know, it makes a big difference just by getting things right. But the key thing is how do you actually add on a margin to your jobs? That's what you really need to know now. To make that easy, you can never ever go wrong with Mr. Casio. This bad boy is all you need in business. Just this and a phone is all you need. But to make it easy, when you've got a cost, so if you know the job costs you just £1,000 to keep it nice and easy, what you do on the calculator is you put £1,000 in, and then you divide by what margin you want to charge. So if you want to charge a 10% margin, you would go £1,000 divided by 0.9. That will give you an accurate margin of 10% put on. If you want to charge a 20% margin, you would divide the £1,000 by 0.8. That gives you an accurate 20%, 0.7 for 30%, 0.6 for 40%, etc. That's the easiest way of doing it. Don't overcomplicate it. You can use an online tool, an online calculator to work it out as well. But for me, Mr. Casio, he's the bad boy.